Such a cold and rainy morning. Oh, I am having such a hard time getting moving this morning. Man, do I have some devastating news to tell everybody. First off, I'm going to take this story. Good morning, Penelope. I'm going to take this story all the way back to the beginning. When I got Penelope, I bought her off a guy. He was a customer of mine. But I bought him from a guy in back when we lived in Struthers. Of course, I bought her as a female. She was, I think, around 7 or 8 feet when I got her. Good morning, good morning. We're about, I don't know, 3 days later. I never did get back to finishing the video I started, but I did want to let you guys know as a whole, because I've already told quite a few people, but Penelope is a male, unfortunately, and very devastatingly, is that a word? No. She is a male. What a pain in the butt. So listen, I bought Penelope as a female. I think it was in 2017, I'm not sure. A few months after I bought her, I did try selling her on Craigslist, and there was a guy that was really interested in her, and he was like 4 hours away. So he asked me to send pictures of her cloaca. And he said, she really got some big spurs for a male. I know it's possible for a female to have big spurs, but I would just hate to make a 4-hour one-way trip to you and find out it's a male, so I'm going to go ahead and pass. I said, that's fine. And then I decided after that I was just going to keep her. At our very first ever reptile show, the one that was at the Trumbull County Fairgrounds in 2019, there was a vendor there who has been in the hobby for, I want to say it was close to 30 years. He was actually getting ready to retire just a couple months after that show. Our show was, I want to say it was August 18th, and then he retired in the following February. But the guy was very knowledgeable, been in the hobby for a long time. I can't remember his name, but I do know he had 2 beautiful panda pieds on his table at the show. But he checked Penelope. He did not probe her, but he looked at her cloaca. I don't know if he just looked or felt or whatever, and he said, yeah, she got big spurs, but it's definitely a female. There's no doubt in my mind she is a female. I said, okay. And I went along with that. Moving forward, we ended up buying an albino. No, we bought a hypo het albino male, which was Derek. We grew him up for 2.5 years. When I started pairing them, they didn't seem interested. Something was happening. I don't know if I paired them once or a couple of times. And because there was no locks and no real connections there, we decided to have Derek probed, and it ended up Derek was a female. So, can't breed with 2 females, so I ended up selling Derek, getting him back, selling him again, and her name is actually now Derica. Some friends of ours have her, and just down the street. But so I got another male. We got No Name, which is a hypo granite triple het for what did I say? Hypo granite triple het for albino green labyrinth, and we grew him up for 2.5 or 3 years. And I paired him with Penelope a couple weeks ago, and they both freaked out. They didn't bite or attack each other, but anytime one of them touched the other, they would both turn the other way and just freak out. And I'm like, you know what? when I paired Penelope with Derek, a few years ago, there was at least some tail wagging happening, and they very lightly, I thought, seemed interested, although they did not lock. But I did see a little bit of tail wagging, seemed like they were interested. But with No Name, totally different. There was no connection. They did not want nothing to do with each other. And I was talking to Mike, and I said, you know what? I always thought Penelope's growth might have been stunted from how small the tote was that she was in when I bought her. It was very obvious that she had lived in that tote for a while because, there was a shed in there, there was multiple poops in there, her Aspen was dirty, and the tote was small. And, she never got very big. She's right around that 11-foot mark, and for a female, that's pretty small. And I was just like, you know what? I just wonder if maybe she's not stunted. Maybe she is a male. And it's, it's a shame, but we didn't have no one to check, to probe, because Penelope's a very big snake, and we don't have anybody locally that would, be able to give me a definite answer. So Brad McCarthy was over last Wednesday, and I told him about it, and I said, anyway, you want to probe this girl? And there is no way, no shadow of a doubt, she is a he. And 6 years of growing up snakes to pair with her. I feel like such an idiot for not checking earlier. But we did check, it just wasn't enough. People make mistakes, and it's hard with snakes. It's not always easy to tell if they're a male and a female, they're not like dogs and cats where they just let their stuff hang, you know what I mean? It's not easy to tell. But yeah, it sucks, so I don't know what the future holds. I do know for a fact, Penelope's staying. She ain't going nowhere. She's literally the best snake we've ever had. She is my favorite snake. We're not changing her name. I'm not even going to call her a boy, probably. I've been calling her a her for 7 years now. Part of me didn't even want to tell anybody. I even told Amber and my son, I don't want to tell nobody, because I was just so devastated. It's like you feel like your life is a lie all these years, and I'm like, I didn't want anyone to know. It's embarrassing to even know that everyone's calling her a her, and it's Penelope and blah blah blah. But literally the same night we started telling people one at a time, and just whatever. So it's a bummer, but yeah, Penelope's a male. What's gonna happen from here, I don't know. I know he ain't breeding this year, but we'll see, We got a blizzard female back recently, which when we got him in the first time, I really wanted to keep one. So there's a possibility I may just hang on to her, grow her up, and try to breed Penelope again in 5 years. I don't know. That's a long time. But we'll see. We'll figure it out. As for No Name, a good friend of mine, customer, has showed a lot of interest in him for a few months now. And being that, I do love that snake, but there's no real sentimental attachment to him. Someone I know is very interested in him, and more than likely we're going to sell No Name and possibly move the blizzard in, or possibly get another female berm. One thing I know for sure, we're not getting another retic. So the 2 8-foot enclosures that we have on the wall there are going to have a berm in each. It's just which berm's it going to be. So yeah, I just thought I'd let you guys know. I'm sorry, I didn't know, but Penelope is now Penelope. She's still Penelope, but she is not a she. All right, you guys have a beautiful couple days. I'll see you back on Wednesday.